So I guess this is going to have to be a part 2 on planting food scrap / EBT garden. So I got pretty deep on the wood chips. Right here is where I squished in the tomato seeds. I kind of just, it's probably going to be way too many, so I'll just cut them as they grow. So what I did is, it was kind of hard because I kept having avalanches of wood chips. So I got them a little bit into the soil that I put in, which is right about here. And then put some handfuls of the soil on around the root area. So the roots can go down into the soil, or they can go through the wood chips, whatever they want to do. So what I did was, I brought my watering cans already, so I'm going to do a watering on top. Pretty good. Man, I got some cats that keep pooping in my freaking wood chips, and it's making me have so many flies. They're so annoying. Hopefully I don't have any problems with this bed, because I did actually have digged a couple maggots out of the wood chips. So maybe they're just like planted there. Maybe they smelled the compost, or maybe they just think, oh well, there's usually poop in the wood chips, so let's put our babies over here. But it was only on the one corner. So then I'm using this watering can, and I'm going to fill these up so you guys can see on video also how, see how fast it goes down. It looks like it's going down pretty quick because I'm probably filling it up. Yeah, it's almost, the whole gallon's almost gone. So these are apple juice jugs. So they usually are about a half a gallon. So I may have to, let's see, use some of the other watering can. So what, they both have 2 thumbtack holes on the bottom. And so what I'm doing is, after filling up, I'm trying to see how much of a difference it makes of having the lid on, as far as how quickly it comes out. Sorry guys. I'm putting it back in. I'm using this jug to put water in this can, so I'm not just spraying it everywhere. There's a little bit of mold on the bottom of this one, but I'm not too worried about that. It's okay. Now we got both of them full. And we'll see if it comes out too quick, then I'll probably put lids on both of them. And if it takes too long with the lid, it doesn't go down pretty quick, then I'll just probably keep the lid off. You can see it kind of going down already. Yeah, it's a pretty good pace. So I probably will do the lids, because I want it to be a slow, kind of like a slow watering. Probably slower than that. So another thing I'm going to do, I might do it while we're on video. I'm going to grab a couple of these bamboos, and I got these for free. During the fall, someone was throwing, like, tossing them out. Probably because they had overgrown a lot. So these are all drying out, so I got these for free. And I'm going to put one on each corner so that I can use them to trellis on. I do have some trellises that I bought, but because for for this particular garden, even though I did use a little bit of my amendments in there. I just kind of felt bad not to. But I didn't put, I usually have this little stuff that I've been putting on the roots. I didn't do that on here. I almost did, but I was like, you know what? Because I want to show how to, how you can grow these things cheap. So I'm going to put one of these in each corner before my roots get all into everywhere. And so this is another free thing. And I know everyone's not able to find something like this, but these are just things you can start gathering up and say, hey, well, maybe next spring, I'll keep these in mind. On the fall, I'll collect leaves and whatever little twigs come off of my trees. And if I see someone having bamboo, or if you have bamboo in your yard, you can just pick it, but you need to let it dry out really well. You don't want any green on it, because you stick this back in here with any green, it might just reroot, and that is not what you're trying to grow. If you want to grow bamboo, then hey, by all means do that. You know what, I might put 2 more. This one I'm going to flip over because it's kind of cracked. And I want it to be a little bit sturdier than that. Okay. And so then you can use whatever kind of string you got. I've even seen people online using masking tape to trellis their tomatoes. I haven't used that particular method, but might be something you might want to try. So I'm gonna get 2 more. These are the skinnier ones. So they're all pretty tall, and I'm not worried about that. It kind of gives my plants, if they want to grow pretty tall, I'll have a trellis going on. And with sorry, wait till they pass. With the melons, I'm just going to let them kind of go onto the ground. And I don't know how much of this I'm going to be eating out of here, but I kind of plan, since I'm doing this market garden separate from my garden. Well, look, it's not really draining that quickly. I've seen with the other one, it's like super fast. So without the lid is fine, it looks like. Yeah, with the lid, it's like not draining at all. So I might have to just loosen it a little bit. Maybe that's what I should do, just to kind of make sure bugs are not going in there trying to take a drink. And if you want it to go a little slower, you can always just put 1 hole instead of 2 holes into the bottom. So now I got all this other stuff. So this is the first bed. We're going to do another one here. Probably with the squash. I have an aroma tomato that I squeezed some of the seeds out too. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. So we're going to say $11, $3 cash, and $8 possibly food stamps or just grocery store money. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to use EBT for this method, but this is just a method that you can also use for EBT if you don't have any cash, because I know there are some people out there that that's the only income they have, and this is a good method. Or maybe that's most of the income you have. Or if you just go to the grocery store and you want to save money, this is also a good method. So that way, you can compost some things, you can eat some things, but with the seeds, you cannot have to buy seeds and use this method. So we did the potatoes in the ground already. I may throw some carrots and cabbage onto the top part once we get all the way to the top. And that's going to be over here where it's a lot more shaded, because those are more cool weather crops and I don't want to give them too much heat, you know. They'll get kind of indirect sun but get shaded for the majority of the day. And so over here I have some more of my cool weather crops that didn't quite fruit yet. I have a cauliflower back there behind that Swiss chard that's going to flower, but I put my little mister on, and it's a little loose right here, so it's like a double mister. But these Brussels sprouts are really enjoying that. It's kind of, they're in the shade already, and I got some carrots that I started from seed over here, and some that I actually are regrows that have went to seed. So I got a big purple carrot. Actually, I think this is maybe the one that I started from seed, but look at that. So I'm going to have tons of carrot seeds of the purple variety. There's something, you know, some of the carrots do go to seed because I had them in the heat. So these ones that I planted by seed, I'm kind of keeping them over here. So even if they're not, like I moved this one over, even if they're not right under the mister, it's kind of in this area, keeping it cool on top of them being in the shade. So hopefully I'll get some Brussels sprouts. I got a lot of holes in a lot of those leaves because I had caterpillars there for a minute. And the Swiss chard does okay in the heat, but it's still liking it right here. And I just kind of tried something different because I had a 6-pack and I put one in this container, 1-gallon container, and the rest in my bed. So another thing I got going on is I've been drying out some onions and garlic. And look at this, the ones that I accidentally cooled that were already flowering are not really like drying out because they're still trying to finish their flowering process. So what I might do is actually just maybe replant them. See, look, it's like not dying at all, and these been here probably about a week. All the garlic are pretty dried, so I'm gonna, these are so I can store them a little easier. They're not going bad quick, but a lot of my onions didn't really get a chance to get very big because they were in an area where it was getting way too hot, so I had to pull them. So I'll go ahead and end this. And onions are another thing that we can grow off of this food scrap garden, EBT garden. Please comment below if you want me to also do onions and garlic in one of these beds. Probably on top of one of the potato beds. Just give me a comment and I'll show you what you can do for those also. Different ways, okay? Alright, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. And this is part 2 of the series, so if you haven't already, make sure you go back to part 1 on my making a garden bed.